Welcome back. It's me again. If you listened last week, I'm ever grateful for you. I appreciate it. Things will get better. I'm going to add some video to this. It will be on streaming platforms once I can figure out the kind of name I want to stick with, but we'll see where it goes. I really appreciate you coming along for the adventure, for the ride. And, having people listening to this does help me want to keep putting them more out. To be honest, I'll keep putting them out for myself. But the feedback that I've been getting is that I should keep doing them. And I will. Today's something that I want to talk about is something that's been on my mind lately. So I'm just going to choose a topic today and I'm just going to just babble about it for a bit. Give you what I think my opinion on it is about. And then I'd love for you to kind of maybe after listening, message me message me privately and tell me maybe something that I missed. Maybe something that came up on your mind that you think I should know. I'd love to hear it. And the topic that I wanted to talk about today is create, not consume. So create, not consume. Something that I've been thinking about a lot lately, mostly because realizing how much I'm consuming is way more than how much I was creating. Whether that is, reading, writing, music, anything artistically wise, just everything across the board, food, right? Just constantly, let's say, ordering food and, ordering coffee instead of, aka creating the coffee, making the coffee, making the meal, really connecting to that experience and realizing that sometimes saving or thinking of saving the time by ordering out, ordering a coffee, like even ordering it in. Like I've ordered Starbucks to the house. But sometimes you really need to step back and take that time for yourself to make that coffee, to grab that cup, your favorite mug. Pick out the coffee that you like. You know how much milk or sugar you take. We go to these coffee places. They screw up all the time. We keep going back. Maybe it's a sign. I don't know. I love going out for coffee, but keep in mind, sometimes that coffee at home can be that therapeutic 10, 20 minutes that you need. Less consuming, more creating. January. Everyone always says, you know what, I'm going to read a lot more this year. This is being recorded on early February. And yeah, I was thinking about, okay, listen, I want to read a book a week. So far, I'm pretty close to that this year. I'm on track. But then I realized I'm reading all this. I'm reading. I'm taking in, consuming all this amazing knowledge. But when was the last time I sat and wrote? When was the last time you had a blank notebook? Or even a notepad on your book, on your phone? Just going to the Notes app. Maybe you do it. Maybe you don't. Clearly, I haven't. I've been more on the consuming end, not creating. Just even writing your thoughts down. Very therapeutic. Kind of like me recording this right now. Very therapeutic for me. When was the last time you just sang? You put on your favorite song and just sang to it. Instead of just listening to music all the time, consuming it. When was the last time you just made up your own lyrics of the song too? Maybe put on a little instrumental and did a little freestyle, little rap beats over it. That's always fun. Instead of putting on a song next time you're driving, maybe think of an instrumental. Put that on. Let your creativity flow while you're driving, while you're at home, just whatever. Create, not just consume. Maybe I'll change it to that. Create, not just consume. Because, consuming is fabulous, educating ourselves, being aware of what's going on, fabulous things. But if it's a one-way street, that's what I've been trying to avoid. Another thing for me is just, especially for my artsy people out there. Not everyone's artistic, but maybe you are and you just didn't know. When was the last time you tried? When was the last time you doodled, scribbled? Grab some paint, go to the dollar store, figure it out. Maybe you want to sew. Maybe you want to knit. Create. Maybe you can start doing something and you'll love it. You can overtake it, and maybe you found your next new hobby or your next new business. Who knew that you can sew hats that everybody wanted? Who would have thought? Create, not consume. And I think that goes along for everything. Found myself always just taking in what others are telling me, but not expressing as much as maybe I should be, or as much as I wanted to be. Too much consumption, not enough creation. And a lot of that comes down to resistance. I would say most, if not all of us have it, where you should be doing something or want to be doing something, but somehow you feel this resistance. Your body's frozen from it. Whether it's you want to write that novel you've always wanted to write and you can't get over the first page. You've always wanted to start that clothing line, that Instagram, that YouTube channel. It's not easy. I get it. And sometimes we spend too much time, and I know I did, consuming other people's content and maybe not enough of our own. Not spending enough time with ourselves and seeing it as what we truly want and not just what others tell us what we think we want, or get others to tell us the life that we want. But maybe that's not it. There's only one way to find out, and everyone's different. And only you truly know what's in your heart. No one can guess it. And everyone's different. You might look at someone else and say, wow, I really love that lifestyle. I wish that could be me. Maybe you want aspects of it, but maybe you want it for the wrong reasons. Who knows? Different strokes for different folks. Another thing is just kind of slowing down the mind a little bit. Less distractions. Less content. There is I don't want to say a movement, but a term that was coined by Tim Ferriss. It was the low information diet. You can kind of figure that out where, yeah, less is more. If it's important, someone will tell you about it. Think about it. If you didn't have Instagram, Snapchat, or all of these websites, let's say you just use the texting app on your phone, someone will let you know if something important is happening. If not, it's probably not that important. It might not change your life that much, but it's taking up mental space in your mind throughout the day. Every time you scroll, every time, you refresh the page. One thing that I had to do was I follow SixBuzz, I follow all these accounts. I had to mute them from my feed because all I was seeing was things that I didn't want to be seeing. Shout out to SixBuzz. I love the platform, but I didn't want my day to be filled with that. Maybe I shouldn't even have been on the app at all, right? Taking away some of my productivity. But still, what you repeatedly see is what's going to really get you. So if you block some of the notifications from these apps, such as Instagram, Gmail, Snapchat, Facebook, whatever it is. I mean, you can check it every couple hours instead of every 10 minutes. At the end of the day, that could be a big difference in your productivity. You could be creating, not consuming. I know for myself, someone might send me a post. It would pop up on my feed. I would click it. Boom, I'm in their matrix now. Who knows how long I'd be stuck in there. What I did recently, since the start of the year, was remove all of the notifications off of my home screen. So the only way to see if you've messaged me or yada, yada, yada would be to go, like, say, if I click the app, and then I would see it. Kind of a way to minimize distractions. I know for myself, I'm super easily distracted. And any little trigger can really change my mindset from creation to consuming. And I love Instagram. I don't even think it's a bad thing. But think about your usage on Instagram. Are you creating or are you consuming? You can hate on Instagram all you want. You probably know people that are on it all day. Are they creating or are they consuming? Evidently, are they the customer or are they making money off the customer? So maybe you have a skill. Maybe you have a calling. Maybe you have a passion. I invite you to take your passion and see if you can make it. Turn it digitally. Start that Instagram. Start that YouTube. Create. Get into that mindset. The more you do it, the more I do it. Let's all get on track. Let's all help each other. Let's all put out fabulous content. Let's all push each other to be better. And I invite everyone who is listening to this, if you can get this far, thank you. Let's do it together. Let's make it happen. There's a lot going on the digital space. You can literally get sucked into that. You can let it rule you, evidently, or you can make some changes. Think maybe a little outside the box. And if you don't have any ideas, you can go back to where we started with this. Write on that blank piece of paper. How do you want your days to look like in your life? Maybe you're unhappy with going to work. Okay. How do you change that? Write it down. Always tired of not deciding what to eat, or sick of your delivery options? Start cooking. Create. Don't just consume someone else's menu. Create your own menu in life. Have your own menu. Have some items up your sleeve. Maybe some of your favorite ingredients or recipes that people in your life want from you. Maybe you make an amazing apple pie. Maybe your lasagna is to die for. I like that. Everyone has their own little menu. Have a little menu up your sleeve. If you don't, I know I only have like one or two things that I'm confidently in. I love making. But now I gotta step it up. I need a full menu. I'm just gonna create it instead of consuming other people's. And that's not to say to stop consuming food or doing this and that. I truly believe we need to have a balance. But let's say, it was 100% you were consuming, and, you weren't really putting yourself out there. You weren't creating. You weren't pushing yourself. Or you aren't where you want to be. Sometimes that 20-80 rule can come into play right now. Just 20% creating, 80% consuming. Try that. Maybe you're going to catch yourself in a loop where you're just consuming. And that can be a week, a month, a day, an hour. Try to catch yourself in these modes. Maybe you're feeling a little antsy, a little anxious, a little unhappy, especially with these strange COVID times where we're all in a pandemic. We're all inside, away from each other. Maybe we need it even more. I've seen a lot of friends, family members, and people around the world kind of take this whole situation that we've been upon us and find and learn something about themselves. They started creating, and boom, they found a niche, or they found something that they enjoy. I invite us all to do that. Let's get out of this pandemic better, brighter, and we'll keep pushing each other forward. I'd love to have a community of people in my life that we all push each other to be better. And I truly believe that's important. I truly believe that your network is your net worth. So how you're spending your days, who you're spending it with, is going to say a lot about who you are as a person and what you do. You can argue against it, but the facts are pretty clear that classic line where show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. For the most part, I would say it's pretty true. And adding to that, so making sure that you have the right group, the right support structure that's going to push you, that's going to say, you know what, that's not a stupid idea. You should do it, even though it's a little uncertain where you're trying to go. Or, you know, maybe the demand isn't there for it yet, but you know you're really passionate about it. A true friend, a true support member in your life is going to bring you up, not bring you down. They're the ones that are really going to push you to be better and not enable you down to their level. Or they're trying to push you down to make themselves feel better. Not a good look. Not a good look. However, don't want to go too much longer. I just wanted to say how important it is right now for us to be creating and not just consuming. Creation, creation, creation. Whatever you want it to be. In your mind right now, it's full of wonderful and beautiful ideas. Smart ones. I know you have it in you. It might be something that you've been thinking about for the last 10, 20 years that you've always wanted to do. Or maybe you don't know yet. But I guarantee it will come to you. If you open your mind to it, it will come to you. And when it does, go for it. Now is the time. You have my support. You have others' support. And if people around you are not supportive, you learn that maybe you need better people around you. And right now in a digital age, in times like these, we can look to online for support. Maybe join a group. You know? We're going to be creating, not just consuming. We're going to make it happen. So that, yeah. Pretty much just wanted to let it all out. It's kind of what I've been feeling lately on just seeing a lot of people's amazing stuff come out, seeing a lot of my friends come out with amazing ideas, businesses, and creation, and not just consuming. Because there's times where I've definitely been in a state of thought where I'm looking at social media as detrimental, as negative, as I hate it. It sucks. Why do people are on it? It's so fake, all this and that. Okay, maybe some aspects of what I said, there's some truth to it. But with that negative mindset, you're really not going to get anywhere. And what really kind of got me past that hoop was the whole, if I don't want to consume all this bad information or all this and that, why don't I create my own? Why don't I put out what I want to see on social media? And if there's a certain niche that you feel isn't on or is underrepresented, go for it. I guarantee in this freaking world, there's someone else that likes or shares your interests. So you are never alone. You should never feel that way. We are all here together on this earth, trying our best every day. Some days we try harder. Some days the world feels completely against us. But I think pushing through that and trying to remind ourselves as much as possible to keep pushing forward, never stop. And at the end of the day, to create, not just consume. I'm going to start it off with that, and I'm going to finish it up with this now. I hope that this little conversation maybe opens up a few conversations in your own mind. Maybe a few different thoughts that you had buried that came back to you. Or maybe something that you disagree with. Please reach out to me, talk to me. I'd love to hear it. Maybe I said something that was incorrect or you don't feel is truthful. Listen, let's figure it out. I'm not perfect. I'm just talking on this, letting it all out, letting my thoughts flow, breathe, and see where they land. And if they land in your earbuds, your speakers, your phone, and you're listening to this, thank you very much. I'm going to sign off now. And I really appreciate you taking this time to spend it. Let's grow as people. Let's grow as a community. Let's be safe and let's push forward. Until next time. Signing off.